Welcome to this explainer. You know, if you're tuning into this, you're probably someone who likes to look ahead. You want to understand not just where we are right now, but exactly where we're going. Well, today, we're exploring a seriously fascinating blueprint for navigating the future. We're looking at the core framework of an organization that is totally dedicated to making sure the leaders of tomorrow are fully equipped today. It's called the African American Leadership Network, or AALN.
Okay, let's dive into this right away with a pretty massive question. The world is changing at breakneck speed. I mean, we're facing an era defined by artificial intelligence, totally new digital economies, escalating cybersecurity threats, and this huge need to modernize infrastructure and build climate resilience. The whole landscape of society is transforming in real time, right in front of us. So we really have to ask, are our leaders actually prepared to guide us through all of this?
For decades, community leadership has been heavily focused on traditional, localized challenges. And hey, those are still vitally important. But tomorrow's global shifts, things like AI, cybersecurity, and vast digital infrastructure, they aren't just on the horizon anymore. They're already here. You just cannot navigate these massive modern complexities with yesterday's toolkit. To survive and thrive in this shifting landscape, tomorrow's leaders have to be equipped right now. That creates a critical need for a completely new, forward-looking kind of leadership development.
And that is exactly where AALN steps in. They are shifting the paradigm right from the ground up. Their motto? The African American Leadership Network is more than an organization, we are a movement. They aren't just sitting back as passive participants, waiting to see how the future unfolds. Absolutely not. They're organizing a proactive movement of leaders who are rolling up their sleeves to actually help build that future.
So, let's anchor their core identity. What is it exactly? Well, by definition, AALN is a national 501c3 nonprofit, but their central mission is incredibly laser-focused. They're all about developing visionary leaders to advance economic, civic, and technological opportunity across the United States, as well as the global Black Diaspora. Their entire ethos is built on three simple but deeply powerful goals: building leaders, strengthening communities, and shaping the future.
Now, what's truly groundbreaking here is the sheer breadth of the coalition they're building. We're talking about local community leaders and public officials standing side by side with technology professionals, educators, students, and faith leaders. They're totally breaking down those old industry silos. By bringing all of these diverse minds and skill sets together into one massive collaborative network, they can tackle really complex issues from multiple angles, and that creates highly measurable, lasting impact.
Section 1. 5 Pillars of Community Empowerment.
So the first pillar is leadership development. This is the bedrock of absolutely everything they do. It's about educating, mentoring, and heavily networking the next generation of transformational leaders. See, it's specifically designed to bridge the very real gap between simply having a desire to lead your community and having the actual professional development, the relationships, and the concrete opportunities needed to do it effectively in the 21st century.
Moving on, the second pillar takes all that leadership and applies it directly to civic engagement. Because let's be real, strong leadership inherently requires civic responsibility. AALN focuses on driving highly informed participation in public policy, community planning, and the democratic process itself. When citizens are genuinely educated and engaged in how their communities are run, it directly leads to much more effective public policy and safer, more cohesive neighborhoods for everybody.
And that solid civic foundation perfectly sets up Pillar 3, economic empowerment. This one is absolutely vital. AALN actively fosters entrepreneurship, comprehensive workforce development, financial literacy, and wealth creation. This connects right back to their overarching goal, right? Ensuring that African American communities aren't left behind, but instead have equitable access to real prosperity and truly sustainable economic development.
Crucially, they aren't just looking at today. Pillar 4 is technology and innovation. This brilliantly illustrates their forward-thinking approach. While a lot of leadership groups focus strictly on traditional civic issues, AALN is aggressively preparing communities for the digital future. They're pushing hard for AI literacy, cybersecurity awareness, and the physical expansion of broadband infrastructure, because they want to ensure communities are fully equipped for an AI-driven society.
Finally, we have the fifth pillar, community collaboration. This is the glue that ties the entire blueprint together. AALN strongly emphasizes forging robust partnerships across government agencies, nonprofits, educational institutions, and the private sector. It serves as a really powerful reminder that communities truly flourish and massive problems actually get solved when leaders are willing to cross sector lines and work together to address our shared challenges.
Section 2. Action on the ground. National initiatives. Okay, so having a philosophy is great, sure, but execution is what actually matters in the real world. First up is Brown Tech, their dedicated technology and innovation initiative. They are promoting AI literacy, advocating for ethical AI, working to reduce racial bias in emerging tech, and expanding digital access. The philosophy driving this is pretty profound. They believe that diversity must exist not just among the people using new technologies, but critically, among the people actually sitting at the keyboard creating the technologies that will shape all of our futures. Next up is the Representation Accountability Project, or RAP. This civic initiative is entirely data-driven. It focuses on protecting fair representation across the Deep South through independent legal analysis and comprehensive map review. The crucial point here is that RAP increases public transparency and encourages civic participation by simply making sure that communities have access to accurate, factual information regarding their voting maps. Now, AALN also steps up in times of immediate crisis through their disaster relief and community recovery initiatives. When a disaster strikes, they mobilize their entire network to execute 3 critical steps: emergency relief, massive resource coordination, and, maybe most importantly, long-term resilience planning. They operate on the core, undeniable belief that truly resilient communities begin with prepared leaders who know exactly how to act when the pressure is on.
Section 3. Building the leaders of tomorrow. So what does the ultimate destination look like here? Well, they're aiming high. AALN is absolutely committed to developing thousands of emerging leaders nationwide. They plan to continuously expand their multi-sector partnerships, rigorously promote ethical artificial intelligence and digital inclusion, and actively connect the global Black Diaspora. This is exactly how they plan to achieve a future where African American leaders are fully, equitably represented in absolutely every major sector of society.
The source material leaves us with this really powerful quote to think about. Whether you are an individual, nonprofit organization, municipality, educational institution, or business, meaningful change happens when communities work together. So why does this matter to you right now? Well, it's a direct invitation. This network relies entirely on collaboration. Whether you represent a corporate partner, a local government, or you're just an individual trying to make a real difference, there is a place for you to engage and help expand opportunities for future generations.
Which brings us to our final question, and it's a simple but provocative one. We are building the future. Will you join the movement? The African American Leadership Network has laid out a brilliant, highly structured path to advance equity, cultivate transformational leaders, and shape a technologically inclusive future for everyone. The blueprint is there, the network is growing rapidly, and the next step? Well, that's up to those willing to lead.